There are bad movies.
Open my eyes!
And then there are cult movies.
Groovy.
And then there are movies so gloriously bad that they become cult movie classics. Welcome to the wild and wacky world of Rollerblade. A 1986 post-apocalyptic fever dream where warrior nuns heal with light, battle with blades, and everyone wears roller skates. It's weird, low budget, barely coherent, and totally unforgettable. Rollerblade is an exploitation film that's developed a cult following over the years, not for traditional cinematic achievements, but for its bizarre, chaotic vision and unconventional filmmaking choices. But beneath all the chaos lies something stranger and more meaningful, a story about spirituality, rebirth, survival, and outsider art created with zero rules and all heart. So what is Rollerblade about? Well, kind of everything and nothing at the same time. In the dystopian wasteland of Lost Angels, a group of roller skating nuns called the Sisters of the Holy Order of the Rollerblade defend the weak using weapons and spiritual magic. They're up against madmen and weirdos, including a villain named Dr. Satakoi, who wants to steal the Sisters' power crystal, a mysterious orb that charges their blades with the power to heal. Or something like that. The plot barely holds together, but honestly, that's not the point. Rollerblade isn't here to tell a story, it's here to create a vibe. It doesn't adhere to a single genre. It mashes up post-apocalyptic science fiction, martial arts, religious mysticism, exploitation, and softcore elements. This chaotic mix of genres creates a tone that feels anarchic. Intentionally or not, mirroring the kind of underground punk spirituality that existed in mid-80s American subcultures. The characters' blend of medieval-style robes, roller skates, and weapons becomes symbolic of a world that has thrown out the rulebook, both spiritually and socially.
Fountains of light everywhere. And we skated for fun. Now, nights are black as ebony. And thou either skate or die.
Rollerblade was shot on a micro budget of $5,000, with cheap lighting, bad audio, and inconsistent editing. But despite being made for practically no money, Rollerblade achieves a unique visual and tonal aesthetic that feels deliberate, or at least expressive.
Sister Fortune!
There's something hypnotic about its world. Nuns on skates wielding blades in a desolate urban wasteland, backlit by raw lighting and draped in VHS fuzz. It doesn't look like a normal film. It looks like a recording of a Mad Max fever dream, or if someone taped over a religious instructional video with a punk skate demo and a dodgy martial arts class, then dubbed it with echoey, improvised dialogue.
Yes, but if the power crystal is not returned, the boy's future and hope for all mankind is lost forever.
It's not polished, it's punk. It's not clean, it's raw, creative energy, splattered across the screen. This aggressively unpolished look and rawness feels like a deliberate act of rebellion against the studio system, meaning the lack of narrative coherence is precisely the point. The strange edits and continuity gaps create part of the mood, reflecting the fractured minds and systems of the film's universe, with the repetitive action scenes and spiritual chants producing a hypnotic, ritualistic rhythm. This improvisational visual language feels like outsider art. The film is building its own world using nothing but what it can scavenge. The sisters operate in abandoned urban spaces, concrete ruins, alleyways, forgotten landscapes. These function as holy places reimagined by women performing new rituals. It's a rebuilding of religion from the ground up using scraps, motion, and feminine power.
Sisters, prepare the holy army for combat.
And the skates, they're not just a gimmick, they become a visual metaphor for movement, freedom, and faith. Skating represents the freedom of movement in a broken world, a physical form of resistance to chaos, and a reimagining of mobility post-civilization. It's a playful, absurd metaphor for rebirth, reclaiming the body and public space in a collapsed society. What makes Rollerblade even more compelling is its bold inversion of traditional, patriarchal religious iconography. In most mainstream faith traditions, nuns are portrayed as obedient, cloistered figures serving quietly within male-dominated hierarchies. But here, the Sisters of the Holy Order of the Rollerblade are self-governed, spiritually potent, and physically dominant. This is a matriarchal order, reimagining faith through bodily motion and survival. In this strange, low-budget world, the female body is no longer shamed or hidden. It becomes sacred, visible, and powerful. In Rollerblade, the female body is central. Constantly exposed, armoured, or moving, roller skates become symbols of grace and speed, their weapons bodily extensions. A world where sensuality and violence coexist awkwardly, reflecting how femininity is both fetishised and empowered. This mirrors a kind of 80s counterculture feminism, where performance, control of the body, and visible sexuality could be reinterpreted as empowerment, or at least subversion.
Good job.
Whether intentionally feminist or not, the sisters represent women reclaiming ritual and power in an otherwise lawless world. It's this tension between camp and conviction that gives the movie depth. Is it satire? Feminist pulp? Exploitation disguised as spiritual metaphor? Maybe all of the above. Rollerblade creates a post-religious world where the sacred and profane skate side by side, and somehow it works.
Soon the hunter will die, the sisters will die, your dad will die, and you will die.
Much like Heather Langenkamp's character Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street, Rollerblade offers a queering of traditional female roles in genre cinema. The sisters aren't waiting to be saved, they're skating into battle. They're not victims, they are warriors, blending sensuality with spirituality, violence with compassion, and ritual with rebellion. It reclaims power, not through imitation of masculinity, but by fusing traditionally feminine imagery with defiance, ritual, and kinetic force. However, this strange image resonates with something deeper.
Yes, but there is still much to do. We must go forth and bring order out of the chaos.
Their blend of pacifism and violence reflects a search for order in moral collapse. The film explores themes of peace and healing, but also features scenes of absurd violence, meaning their sacred mission to use their blades to heal with the power of light becomes a paradox.
The cosmic order of Rollerblade is the only force on Earth where all weapons and battle techniques are converted into tools of love.
Mirroring the contradiction between violence and virtue in human history, the juxtaposition of glowing light with sharpened steel speaks to a long cultural narrative that peace can sometimes only be preserved through conflict. This rebranded religious act of healing and spiritual awakening also echoes the real-world rise of New Age spirituality in small-town America throughout the 80s. A time of growing disillusionment and economic instability, many turned to this new age of spirituality to find meaning. These included Eastern philosophies, occult and esoteric practices, and self-help psychology and holistic healing.
This is a miracle.
It is a way of the Holy Order.
I want to learn your ways. Please, will you teach me?
Rollerblade has endured far longer than its budget would predict, becoming part of a small but influential stream of cult cinema. Director Donald G. Jackson wasn't just making a weird B-movie, he was laying the foundation for something called Zen Filmmaking. His philosophy? No scripts, no rules, just shoot what feels right. Let the actors improvise and let the story emerge from the chaos. Later films like The Rollerblade 7 would take this even further, becoming surreal, non-linear visual meditations, and this go-with-the-flow approach also helped to inspire his later cult classic, Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Starring Ruddy Piper as Sam.
On the last day we were shooting Rollerblade, I saw a sign painted on the wall, Frogtown. Sam Mann, who played Wacko in Rollerblade, was going to a party wearing a jockstrap, a pair of boots, and a raincoat. I thought, what if this guy was a marshal named Sam Hell, and he came to Frogtown, and we called it Hell Comes to Frogtown?
Eat lead, froggies!
But in its own way, Zen filmmaking is radical, a rebellion against Hollywood formula and a celebration of pure, raw creativity. there was something else that allowed a film like Rollerblade to thrive. Something bigger than any director, actor, or skate-clad nun, the video rental era. In the mid-1980s, a quiet revolution was unfolding not in cinemas, but in living rooms. The home video boom, led by the rise of VHS rental stores, cracked open the gates of Hollywood, and a flood of weird, wild, and wonderfully awful movies poured in. Rollerblade was one of them, but it wasn't alone. Video stores weren't just shelves of mainstream hits, they were uncurated museums of B-movie madness. A goldmine for DIY filmmakers, genre renegades, and exploitation artists who knew their low-budget shockers might never hit cinemas. But on VHS, anything was possible.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
During this golden age, video stores needed content.
Humans are such easy prey.
The major studios couldn't keep up, so independents and regional distributors stepped in, filling shelves with lurid artwork, sensational titles. The only rule: stand out on the shelf. Rollerblade nailed it. A pitch-perfect example of exploitation-era visual marketing. Chaotic, provocative, and most importantly, impossible to ignore. A woman in a revealing black leotard, kneeling on roller skates, restrained by three bizarre post-apocalyptic figures wearing masks. It hints at themes of domination, sci-fi dystopia, and her body as both weapon and object of desire. For £2.50 on a Friday night, what kid wouldn't want to rent that? It skated alongside a bizarre league of analogue outlaws. These films didn't need box office receipts. Their currency was video store mystique, the cover art that dared you to pick them up. The promise of insanity on tape, the word-of-mouth legend passed between playgrounds and sleepovers. Watching these tapes wasn't just about seeing a movie, it was about discovering something forbidden, something your parents wouldn't approve of, and something no critic would ever recommend. But something unique and unforgettable. Rollerblade captured that spirit. Part cult, part cosplay, part grindhouse spectacle. It was unapologetically cheap, brazenly weird, shot with zero permits and less shame. And that's precisely how Rollerblade found its audience. Not in cinemas, but on the shelves of dimly lit video stores where chaos was currency and curiosity ruled. Rollerblade never had a theatrical run. It didn't get critical praise, but it thrived where it mattered at the time, in the video rental underground. Distributed by New World Video, who had worked with Jackson before, releasing his 1985 wrestling documentary, I Like to Hurt People. Pumped in some more cash for him to finish shooting Rollerblade, a stroke of pure genius, as it would eventually earn over $1 million in video rentals. A truly monumental achievement for such a low-budget film, and it was helped by its iconic cover art, insane premise, and late-night appeal. Consumed by stoners, cult film nerds, and curious kids, this kind of bizarre movie thrived through discovery. People didn't seek it out, they stumbled upon it.
Hey, don't I know you?
By girl.
Twisting it into a ritual object from the analog age, a totem from the wilder days of 80s home video. Helping to pave the way for a new wave of low-budget filmmakers, inspiring anyone with a camcorder and a group of friends to pursue their creative dreams. DIY movies with heart and zero shame. Rollerblade isn't a good movie, but more of an experience. It's part parody, part spiritual manifesto, part backyard cosplay, and 100% cult classic. It's proof that movies don't have to make sense to entertain. They need to feel like something you've never seen before. Rollerblade's real impact is less about its content and more about its audacity. It's proof that a completely wild, barely coherent movie can become immortal in the right cultural current. Rollerblade isn't just so bad it's good, it's so strange it's valuable. A testament to the power of trash cinema as expressionism, and a case study in chaotic world building, lo-fi filmmaking, and the kind of creativity that only thrives outside of systems. It's more than a movie, it's a manifesto of madness on wheels. Have you seen Rollerblade, or something even weirder? Drop your favourite cult film in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more cinematic chaos. It goes a long way in helping small creators like me, so please help and support underground channels like this. And if you like this dive into VHS obscurity, then check out these forgotten and obscure werewolf movies from the 80s and 90s VHS era. Till next time, Crypt Dwellers.